Mammoth's spiritual energy surged to its limit, then suddenly erupted into a dazzling pillar of light, piercing straight into the heavens. Shockwaves spread outward like a tidal flood of elemental force, tearing up the ground and blurring the sky itself. Amid the thinning dust and smoke, gigantic footprints were stamped deeply into the earth, each one heavy and magnificent. In the distance, the colossal figure of Mammoth slowly emerged through the thinning haze. It stood tall and unmoving, but its breath was weak and its body bathed in blood. Jianxi, frantic with worry, sprinted through the smoke toward Mammoth. From afar, Jianxi rushed forward, panic flashing in her eyes. When she finally saw that familiar silhouette clearly, her eyes reddened with tears about to fall. Choking back her emotions, she forced out 2 words. We won! Yes, Mammoth had survived the harrowing battle. She could confirm it with her own eyes. It was still standing, but Mammoth's body was covered in horrific streaks of dark purple, elemental scars that had penetrated deep into bone. Both of its tusks glowed with a grim, shadowy light, bearing the brutal marks of the battle it endured. Its blood-red eyes caught a final glimpse of Jianxi. And then Mammoth's colossal form collapsed, like a mountain crumbling to the earth. In that fleeting moment before darkness consumed him, a final thought echoed through Mammoth's mind: we won. At last we won. Immediately, his mind reached out to his master. Master! Another flicker of consciousness, like a dying ember. Master, I didn't disgrace you. With that final whisper, Mammoth's body fell utterly still, lying motionless against the cold earth. But before the battlefield could settle, disaster struck again. A violent surge of purple spiritual energy exploded out of nowhere. Within the swirling smoke, dozens of monstrous beasts materialized, their eyes blood-red claws. Grotesquely long, they howled and charged straight for Mammoth without hesitation. Jianxi's pupils dilated in shock, her heart frozen with terror. Mammoth, in its current state, had no strength left to resist. Even Mammoth cracked open a sliver of one eye, sensing the coming despair. But his body could no longer move. Without hesitation, Jianxi hurled herself into the fray, tendrils extending from her body. Ready to fight to the death, she faced down the giant spider leading the demonic beasts, determined to protect Mammoth. The rest of the beasts, sensing their prey was weak, charged forward gleefully. But just as the life-or-death battle was about to erupt, slash! A flash of lightning split the air. Before they could even touch Jianxi, the entire horde of beasts were cut down, one after another. Their enormous bodies crashed to the ground, shaking the earth. Jianxi turned, stunned. Unsure what had just happened, then, stepping lightly onto the battlefield before her, a small foot touched the earth. A red cloak fluttered in the wind. 2 long, silver antennae gleamed in the dust. Golden Ant had arrived. Its long, razor-sharp pincers flashed coldly, ready to tear apart any enemy. High above, the rest of the team was descending toward Mammoth, shining like stars against the darkened sky. Meanwhile, elsewhere at the battlefield's heart, another brutal battle raged on. The Emperor Crocodile lunged wide-mouthed at its opponent, only to bite down on crumbling rocks. Enraged by the miss, Emperor Crocodile roared in frustration. From the side came a taunting voice. Trying to eat me? How clumsy! It was Dream Phantom. Dream Phantom immediately unleashed a flurry of illusions, ensnaring Emperor Crocodile in a maze of phantom images. The crocodile roared in confusion, lost among countless mirages, question marks flooding its mind. But just as Dream Phantom was preparing a counterattack, something terrible happened. Panic seized Dream Phantom's heart. The elemental deity has also fallen? This battlefield has descended into chaos. I must end this now. Dream Phantom seethed, fury burning in his eyes. Like a streak of light, Dream Phantom prepared to launch a devastating assault, determined to cleanse the battlefield in one strike. I will end this in one breath. I must avenge them. But just as he charged forward, a crimson dragon swooped in from behind. It opened its massive jaws and clamped down on Dream Phantom, dragging him off like a predator snatching prey. Dream Phantom howled in confusion. Mo Long! What are you doing? Mo Long replied coldly. One by one, your side has fallen. The master is furious. Above the battlefield, terrifying cracks split the sky, pink spiritual light spilling out from beyond. In a flash, Mo Long and Dream Phantom vanished into the void, leaving behind only a gaping black hole and countless jagged cracks. Like shattered glass, the panda looked up at the sky, immediately realizing the enemies have retreated, but before relief could settle, an overwhelming wave of malevolent energy erupted. Sweeping in from every direction, the panda gritted his teeth. There was still another, even stronger evil force lingering nearby. Mu Tian and his extraordinary companion soared down from the sky, accompanied by a colossal figure. At the sight of it, the panda felt his blood run cold. Before he could react, a massive hand grabbed him by the collar and lifted him off the ground. A mocking voice followed. "Let's see where you run this time. When will I finally shake him off?" "Cough, cough, I admit it. I was wrong. Lend me a little more strength. I swear I'll pay you back with interest. When will he stop chasing me? He even dares to deceive me." Elsewhere, amidst the chaos, sounds of coughing and sighing echoed. Cough, cough. The enemies simply retreated just like that? This can't possibly be so simple. At the battlefield of Huaxia, a wasteland of scorched ruins stretched endlessly under a great inferno. An immense sea of fire devoured the world, consuming everything in its path. Even a deity of vitality was trapped within the flames. The transcendents standing at the edge of the inferno whispered among themselves, unease etched across their faces. The great blaze had been burning for an entire hour, yet within the sea of flames, the deity of vitality was still twitching. The transcendents grew even more anxious. It's still alive. How can we kill it? They wondered helplessly. In the distance, Xiaoling watched the raging inferno with cold eyes. This fire would turn even ashes into nothingness. How could anything survive that? Suddenly, two radiant figures burst out from a crack in the sky. It was Mo Long and Dream Phantom. The transcendents craned their necks upward, mouths agape in sheer disbelief. Long Ting Wei, recognizing the beings soaring above, cried out in shock. Dragons? But right now, both Mo Long and Dream Phantom were staring at the deity of vitality still writhing inside the inferno, unable to believe their eyes. Is that really deity number one at the heart of the flames? Even it was defeated? Bitterness and helpless rage filled Mo Long and Dream Phantom. They could do nothing but grit their teeth in fury. Xiaoling shuddered as she looked at the pink dragon. That pink creature, she realized, was one of the ancient deities that had once stood alongside the Tree of Life. Suddenly, a massive dark shadow ripped through the fabric of space, causing Xiaoling to jolt in alarm. She sensed a twisted, monstrous aura, as if something from the dark world itself had seeped through the cracks. In an instant, the entire sky was swallowed by dense, suffocating darkness. Amidst the black sea, four blood-red eyes aligned in a silent, horrifying row, coldly and patiently watching every living creature below.